up, guys? Today's fast food toys is the amazing, the stupendous, and the awe-inspiring, drumroll please, da-da-da-da. Okay, it's actually Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood. Okay. Little Red Riding Hood is actually a miniature replica of a Madame Alexandra doll. Now, for those of us who are real correct collectors of, they know Madame Alexandra, who creates a lot of really fine porcelain dolls. Because the dolls of Madame Alexandra have been so popular, McDonald's have collaborated with the company to be able to come up with a Happy Meal toy, which is a miniature version of some of their famous dolls. One of which is actually Little Red Riding Hood. There you go. It's such a nice toy because, you know, it's a combination of, it's made of hard plastic, very durable, and it has a lot of articulation. You can move the arms. You can actually move the arms, make it seem like no, asking for help. Help! Okay. Okay, and then the boots are like real boots, and then the skirt is made up of fabric, which is intricately designed, and the hood, the Red Riding Hood, the infamous Red Riding Hood. I couldn't complain. This is one of the finest Red Riding Hoods I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Okay, so that's it. That's a toy. It's a great toy. Then it even has a card here where you can play at the... I think it gives us a code to help us go to McWorld. Okay, to play with the toys perhaps. Okay, so Little Red Riding Hood, as far as I can remember, is one of my favorite fairy tale characters. I think a childhood won't be complete without having read, or at the very least listened to the story of the Little Red Riding Hood. I personally have heard a lot of versions. I don't know which is actually the authentic ending for the Little Red Riding Hood story. I've heard it from several storytellers, and I've heard a lot of the most weird and the most outrageous endings for this particular fairy tale. But one of the most vivid scene from the fairy tale story was the scene when the confrontation of Little Red Riding Hood with the wolf. Because you see, the wolf went ahead of Little Red Riding Hood and went to the cottage of grandmother, and then went to the wardrobe and looked for grandmother's clothes to disguise himself as the grandmother, hoping that he can actually dupe Little Red Riding Hood to believe that he is actually grandmother. Okay, so when Little Red Riding Hood went, she actually believed, and that very, amazing naivete that is Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, she's very naive. And so when she noticed certain big changes, I think, so she confronted grandmother. She said, "Oh my, what big ears, grandma, what big ears you have." Well, of course, the fox would say, "Oh, the better to hear you, my dear." And then she asked, "Grandma, what big eyes you have?" And then the wolf said, "Oh, the better to see you, my pretty." And then, "What big teeth you have?" "Well, the better to eat you." Okay, so that particular verse actually made me believe that it was actually the fox who devouring, I don't know, was he able to successfully devour a poor Little Red Riding Hood? I don't know. But such is what happens to blind beliefs. I mean, it's cute for little kids to have that naivete, yung naivete about them. But as we grow older, I think we have to be more critical in whatever it is that we believe, because it's really, I mean, we'll be putting ourselves in a lot of danger if we just believe without being critical, without having scientific evidences or proofs before we can actually give our acquiescence or our belief on whatever it is. Okay, so now we have this guy again. The guy who wants to be called as simply as a guy who loves Regine Velasquez. He will be rendering a song to us about the Red Riding Hood. So here's the guy who loves Regine Velasquez singing to our fast food toy story for today. Take it away!
Sometimes all the nights can be so hard. It's good when I find try to get interest without the light, and partly she says I was so high. When I come to her and say it was alright, hold her tight. She believes in me. I'll never know just what she sees in me. I told her someday she was my girl. I could change the world with my little songs. I was wrong, but she has faith in me, and so I go trying faithfully. And who knows, maybe on some special night, if my song is right, I will find a way. While she waits for me, I stumble to the kitchen for a bite, and see my old guitar with the night, just waiting for me as it will bring. There's no end. She waits quietly. I fumble with a melody or two, but I'm torn between the things that I should do. What she says to a girl without me is true. She believes in me. I never know just what she sees in me. I told her someday she was my girl. I could change the world with my little songs. I was wrong, but she has faith in me, and so I go trying faithfully. And who knows, maybe on some special night, if my song is right, I will find a way. While she waits, while she waits for me.
Okay, that was amazing, I think. Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful song that is very apt for our little girl here, our little Red Riding Hood. So thank you very much for tuning in today. Hope to come by and visit us again as I tell you another Fast the Toy story. So until then, guys, goodbye and have a great day. Bye bye.